Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to my channel. I'm Analytical Mystic. I'm about to do your weekly tarot readings. Yay! Please keep in mind these readings are general. They may not resonate with everybody. Remember to take into consideration your moon, rising sign as well. So what I'll be doing is I'll be pulling one card for the overall energy of the week, and then I'll pull one more card for the love energy of the week. Because everybody wants to know about love. Not everybody has love in their life, so I still like to focus on the general. But we'll get that love energy also. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Nothing to it. Let's do it. Let's see what's going on with Aries over the next week. What kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week? What's going on with Aries? Aries, you have the Queen of Swords. So you're trying to think more intellectually, more pragmatically, not necessarily. This is not to say that you've been very ignorant or stupid in the way you have been doing things. I just think you've let yourself be affected by your emotions easily. Um, typically Aries can be quick to anger. So you may be trying not to be so quick. And it's usually because of the emotion they feel in immediate response to what's going on. And I think you're just trying to kind of step back and think before you react to external situations or even external triggers that, get something going up inside you that makes you feel like shit. You're trying to think more um, intelligently and intellectually about things, trying to step back. Now, this is going to seem like you are being detached and cold to some people because they are so used to you being kind of loud and boisterous, or at least, just kind of more expressive. And you're going to be holding back because you're holding back. Maybe you've been struggling with your temper. Maybe you've been struggling with your triggers and it's caused problems and you've become aware of this and you're just trying to keep things under check. And honestly, I think that is a good thing. Just don't stifle who you are. Don't make yourself feel like you have to completely erase who you are, because it's part of who you are. And if you put a negative feeling on it, that's a negative feeling you're putting on yourself. Okay. So let's not do that because that's detrimental to every aspect of your life. With that being said, let's move on to your love life. What's going on in Aries' love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter in their love life over the next week? We have the Ten of Wands. So something is really, really bothering you about your relationship or lack thereof. It's something you can't quite shake. And you're really kind of overburdened by this, or at least you feel that way. Um, you feel very stressed out in regards to your partnership, or there are just things that have happened that you can't stop thinking about. And considering that we have the Wands energy here, I think that This Queen of Swords energy really balances things out, so that's good. Although it could kind of take things in the other direction where you still are quick to react, but it's more so negatively and it's more so destructively. So, like, things that you say or do may be more destructive. Let's hope it's not that scenario, but it's there. It's a possibility for some people, unfortunately. Um, and of course, this causes trouble in your relationships, all of them. So, that is also why we have this Queen of Swords influence, because you are having these struggles relationship wise, and you're not trying to fuck up something that's super important to you that you really care about. So you're trying to kind of step back, trying to kind of take a step back, and again, not be so quick to react. All right, let's move on. Taurus, what is up, Taurus? What is going on with Taurus over the next week? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter over the next week? What's going on with Taurus? Let's place the selenite stick. It'll come, it'll show up. Okay, Taurus, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So you are really going to be focusing on work and building up something of value. If there have been any conflicts going on in your life, you may be trying to work those things out. Although in some situations you may have difficulty in doing so. You may have opposition to doing so, and so it may be very, very difficult, but you're still trying to put that effort in, because you don't want this to be a negative experience, a negative situation. Yeah, I believe you're really going to be just focused on your work and production, what you're able to produce from your work. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What's going on in Taurus's love life? Taurus, you have the Empress. So here with the Empress, you may be at the beginning of a new relationship, or you've just recently met somebody who's made you feel very strongly for them, not just physically attracted, but also mentally. So that's really awesome. And she may seem kind of mysterious too, but at the same time, she'll open up to you. Not necessarily all the time, but when she does open up, she'll open up to you. Or he. It's not necessarily a female, but it's feminine energy. Um, some of you may be finding out you're pregnant, let's be honest, or actually having a child. Um, Unfortunately, and I'm not trying to curse anybody, but it may be a difficult birth, but I think that you will be able to get through it. It's just gonna take. It's not necessarily gonna be easy. It's not just gonna slide out with no pain or anything like that. So but it is something. I think everything will be okay. It's just it'll be a little bit difficult. Um, yeah, some of you may be getting married. Again, just kind of the start of a new life with your partner, or if it's not just a new partner. Others of you, things aren't working out the way you want. You wanted to start a relationship with somebody, you wanted to start something new with somebody, and it's just not working out. They're not really reciprocating the feelings, and it's disappointing to say the least. But I think in some situations you don't want to give up. Like, I think in some situations you're going to continue to put your love and energy towards this person until they feel safe with you, until they open up. And because you feel a deep connection to them and you don't want to just walk away from that. But I think there may be some of you who have been doing that for quite some time and it's just not working. I think there are some of you that like may be trying to work it out with your children's mother and it's just not working, or just with your the other parental figure, um, it's just not working out. Like, you may be trying to work it out for the kids and it's just not, um, and you may just be struggling to come to that realization. Don't shoot the messenger. I gotta read what I see. Okay. um Also, if this is a new relationship, it's something that you will have to consistently work on. So perhaps this person kind of challenges you in the other way around, so it's something that you'll have to consistently work on, but I think you are willing to put in the effort. All right, let's move on to Gemini. Let's see what's going on with Gemini this week. What is up with Gemini over the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter? What's going on with Gemini? Gemini, you have the High Priestess. You're kind of keeping to yourself. You're kind of heavy in your mind. You're thinking about a lot of things. With some of you, it may be stinking thinking. You may be feeling super, super low. And some of you are just, you're not necessarily feeling low, but you're working out a lot of things inside your mind. And so to other people, you appear as distant and detached. To those people who are very hypersensitive, they may take it personal, you know, which is easily, well, maybe not so easily, depending on how it's received. Excuse me. But which can easily be defused by letting them know, hey, this has nothing to do with you. Like, don't take it personal. I got stuff going on inside my mind, because, and that's where you're going to be. You're going to be inside your mind. Some of you maybe having difficulty with this though. Like, perhaps you're in a situation where you have no privacy and you can never be alone. So it's like you're feeling this way, but you can't withdraw. You're always around somebody. So that could be very, very difficult for you. You really would and will benefits from some genuine alone time where you can just like shut off from the world, not just the people around you, the world. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Gemini. Let's see what's going on in Gemini's love life. Okay, you have the Five of Wands for your love life energy. So you are dealing with a lot of difficulty in regards to your love life. You're feeling very conflicted about how to react, what to do about what's going on, and about your partner. Should you stay? Should you go? Should you try to work things out? It's possible that things have been combative between you and your partner, and you may be withdrawn from them, honestly, taking into consideration your general energy, because you've got a lot to think about. You're trying to withdraw your energy from this connection because you feel so conflicted about it. You may even feel like you're having to compete for this person's attention, and you don't want to have to compete for this person's attention. So, and it sucks. Like, you're pulling back. It sucks because you really care about this person, but at the same time, it's like, if you have to compete for their attention, do they really care about you? That's really how you feel, and you're taking time to step back and consider how you feel, which is good. It's important to put yourself first in a relationship. I mean, you got to be healthy to be a healthy partner. So, I mean, you got to take care, and that's just in life in general. You got to take care of you first. You got to take care of your mental state first. Otherwise, everything around you is just going to burn. It's just going to constantly be on fire. Constantly. Let's see what's going on with Cancer over the next week. What is going on, Cancer? What's going on with Cancer over the next week? What kind of energy will you encounter? Okay, Cancer, you have the Knight of Swords. Energy, like, this is interesting because, thus far it seems like there's a lot of withdrawn energy. Um, with the Knight of Swords here, you're doing a lot of thinking as well. Although, the thing is, you're not completely withdrawn. You are more closed off to people than usual, but you're not withdrawn. You're interacting, you're involved in the situation, and in fact, you may be quite opinionated about the situation, um, and willing to argue and fight about this situation. But you have a level of detachment as well. And this is where you feel like you find your strength, because you can do this. You can put forth this effort in this fight without being so caught up in your emotions that there is just, it makes no sense, because your emotions are just going all over the place. You're saying everything you're thinking, and your thoughts are going all over the place. So it doesn't necessarily make sense to the people that are hearing you. You're trying to avoid that situation. So, because you know that all it takes is just one thing for you to switch up and lose it, because you're just so emotional, so moody. So again, trying to detach from being so emotional and so moody, but at the same time, I think what ends up happening is you remain moody, even though you don't feel like it. But to other people, they're receiving you as moody because you're like popping off. You're just not popping off as easily. But when you do, pretty fucking harsh. Pretty fucking harsh. Like, your words are like knives. They cut. And, the truth hurts. That's kind of how you feel about it. The truth hurts. I'm sorry you don't like the truth, basically. Sorry, not sorry. It's possible that you could be dealing with someone that has the same energy, and even there is even the possibility that you're both carrying the same energy, in which case it will get, as much as you are trying to avoid it being, it will get fiery. It will. Very destructive. Very destructive. So you got to be careful. Check your temper, man. Check it. Check your mood swings. Interesting. We have the Empress again. Um, so yeah, some of you may be meeting somebody new, starting a new relationship, um, maybe deepening a commitment. With this Knight of Swords energy influence, you're pretty sure about what you want in regards to this relationship. And you're going after it, and entering into a new phase if you're already in a relationship. Similarly, some of you may be finding out you're pregnant, because the Empress carries this motherly, nurturing energy. And if you are not pregnant, you are interacting with somebody who's very loving, very nurturing, and very caring. And you care a lot too, but you're moody. I think you're moody. And you're trying not to be moody, but in turn, you're being even more moody because people see it as if, like, whereas you usually maybe like bitchy, but you have emotions, people see that you're feeling all kinds of stuff. You're detaching from those emotions, so you're just bitchy. Moody, you're moody, and that comes off more harsh. And if you are trying to enter into a new phase, a healing phase, or in your relationship, or trying to start a new relationship, this is going to be detrimental to that. So, the Knight of Swords energy influence towards a relationship energy, in the beginning, this birthing period, it can go two ways. You can know what you want, be determined to go after this person that you want, or you could also really be freaking annoyed and tearing into this person that you care about. So it could go either way. Which way is it going to go for you? I don't know. It just depends on your situation. This is the same energy for everybody, but your situation is going to play out differently. It may not be that exact scenario, but it'll be the same vibe. And yeah, that's going to get in the way of something new developing if you're not careful. All right. Interesting. Moving on to Leo. What is going on with Leo over the next week? What is going on with my Leos? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? Leo, you have the Page of Wands. So you're feeling very playful, very creative. You have a lot of new ideas and you're feeling very excited about implementing that. them. You may be making a lot of phone calls, a lot of communication going on. Um, and some of it may be to communicate these ideas that you have, because you're having a burst of inspiration right now, and you definitely want to take advantage of it while you have this energy. You're really excited about the possibilities, that the potential opportunities that lay in front of you. And if they are not laying right in front of you, you're pretty optimistic about going after them and laying them right in front of you. And again, there may be communications related to this with other people. And your enthusiasm about your ideas is going to actually make a big difference. So if you are feeling a little self-conscious about your work, fake it. Fake it till you make it is what they say. You know, if you got to fake that confidence because you're not feeling so hot, do it. Because there is a certain vibe that you carry when you do feel confident. And so I think that if you are one of those who's not feeling so great, you're going to like make yourself step into that vibe. Or you need to. Because it will definitely help your situation. It will definitely help the communication and the reception of what you may be communicating about. See what's going on in your love life, Leo. What kind of energy will Leo encounter in their love life over the next week? What's up with Leo? Leo, you have the Five of Cups. So, unfortunately, in regards to your love life, you're not feeling so hot. Something may have recently ended. Your partner may have left you. There could have been an argument where you left on bad terms and you're feeling pretty hopeless about things if you're not feeling that it's completely over. I think that there is an opportunity here to kind of have a conversation about things and possibly revive and repair the relationship, if not just come to a mutual understanding in regards to why you should separate. I think that this would be very beneficial to some of you, because I think some of you are just kind of caught up in the loss that you feel and the heartache you feel over no longer having this partnership or relationship. Or it's also possible that you may feel that way. You may feel like you don't have it because of these insecurities that you're feeling. But if that is the case, if you're in a relationship and you feel like you're about to lose your partner, talk about it. I think you will very much benefit by communicating how you feel to your partner. This is a situation where you don't need to fake it. You don't need to fake it when it comes to your relationships. Don't fake it. If you fake it, it will blow up in your face when it comes to a relationship, because you can't truly connect with somebody if you're being fake. Part of what makes relationships so wonderful is the intimacy that is involved, the connection that you create through being intimate with each other, not just sexually, not just physically, sexually, but emotionally, mentally. If you stay closed off, that connection really is hard to grow. The other person could put all the time, energy, and effort into it, but if you're not open to it, it doesn't matter. And the other way around as well. So, but at the end of the day, communication is what's going to remedy how you feel. It's just a matter of whether or not you will get that communication, because some people Some people aren't speaking to each other. And there is that fear there that you never will again. So that's the energy for the week, Leo. That's not forever, okay? So this too shall pass, but don't ignore it. Let's see what's going on with Virgo over the next week. What kind of energy will Virgo encounter over the next week? What is going on with Virgo? Virgo, you have the Nine of Cups here. So some people say, a lot of people say, that the Nine of Cups is the wish card, which would imply that you are getting your wishes. What you want, you are getting what you want. But I think it is important to acknowledge as well that sometimes we don't get what we want. But then it ends up leading to what we want. You see what I'm saying? Um, or it may be harder to achieve what it is that you are desiring to achieve. You're not getting what you want. But for the most part, I think some of you are going to be lucky. I think things are going to go the way you want them to go. Or at least you will be given the opportunity to take them in the direction that you want to take them into. You could just also be feeling very happy and very optimistic about your life. The only way I would interpret this in a quote unquote negative way is not getting what you want. It happens. Frustration would inevitably be there. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Virgo. What kind of energy will you encounter in your love life? Okay. Virgo, you have the Nine of Swords here. So, even though things may be going well in your life in general, when it comes to your love life, not so much. You have a lot of anxiety, you have a lot of insecurity going on, whether you are single or in a relationship. So you have this anxiety, this insecurity. You just feel really bad about yourself and you can't really stop thinking about it. And I don't know if this has to deal with previous experiences. I mean, more than likely it does. More than likely that is what's fueling your anxiety and your insecurity. And I think you're just afraid that you're not going to get what you want. Again, we got to take into consideration the general energy when we're talking about love energy, because general energy affects everything in your life, okay? So I think some of you may be super, super afraid of not getting what you want. And that is causing an aversion. You may be avoiding the situation out of fear. But the thing is you got to face it head on. Otherwise, this feeling is going to continue to grow and build up to where you don't face it. You run away from it. If you have not already done that. I think it's very important for a conversation to be had, a very honest and blunt conversation to be had, so that you can express the way you feel and it can be worked out. It may be stressful, it may be difficult, but it's most definitely necessary in order for you to get to a point where you could have any peace of mind. Even if that peace of mind comes after absolute heartbreak, you know? All right. Let's Let's move on. Well, before we move on, I would also like to say, in terms of this Nine of Swords energy, if you're single, you're just feeling very awful about the history of your relationships. And it's something that you may be taking time to analyze, but you may not really be liking what you're seeing as you're analyzing these things. And it's stressing you out, and you just are having difficulty. There's difficulty sleeping going on, basically. Okay, Libra. Let's see what's going on with you. What is going on with Libra over the next week? What kind of energy will Libra encounter? Libra, you have the Eight of Pentacles. So you are working hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. So yeah, you're working very hard, mentally and physically. So you may be working obviously at your job, very focused on your occupation, but you may be doing a lot of stuff around the home, a lot of cleaning, a lot of like rearranging, redecorating. You're putting a lot of time and energy into developing your surroundings as well as your inner self. So you may be working on, again, changing your surroundings while simultaneously going to therapy or seeing, a grief counselor or something. Um, so it's like you're determined to improve yourself. You want to improve where you are now. You may not be too fond of yourself. Like, I hate saying that, but you may not be too fond of the way you've been handling things up to this point. And so you're working to figure out where the root of that is so you can change it. So you can uproot it and plant something new. Let's see what's going on in your love life. Because there's no doubt that this energy will affect it. What's going on in Libra's love life over the next week? What's up with Libra? Libra, you have the Four of Pentacles. For some of you, you're holding on. You can't let go. You do not want to lose this relationship. You do not want to lose this partnership. You want to work things out. It's important to you. Unfortunately, you may not be expressing this. Unfortunately, you may be somewhat detached. You're holding on to how you feel. Even though you don't want to let this go, it's almost as if you don't want to open up either. You want to work through this, but not open up. And the thing is, it's kind of like I mentioned earlier, if you don't open up, that's going to be detrimental to having any sort of relationship because, intimacy is a very important factor um, in a relationship. To have that connection is so important. It's part of what brings people together, it's part of what bonds them. So if you are holding back and not allowing that part of yourself to be known out of fear of rejection or being hurt, I mean, there's no way that there is any possibility for you to have any sort of truly intimate connection. Um, So some of you may be trying to like work to let your guard down a little bit, that you're reluctant to, because when you are truly committed to somebody, um, you want to be with them all the time, you know? And to have that feeling not be reciprocated is definitely a fear of yours. Um, but the thing is, you never know until you put it out there. Like, how can you even get it? You know, you never know until you put yourself out there. And yes, rejection could occur and it could be devastating, but in time, you will get through that and you will move on. Even if you can't move on, even if it's something that you always feel some type of way about, you will find a way to move on. See what's going on with Scorpio. Let's do it. All right. What is up with Scorpio over the next week? What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter? What is going on with my Scorpios? What kind of energy will you be carrying over the next week? Take a sip of water on this one, you guys. Okay. So we have the Death card. Hold on. I don't want any of y'all to freak out too much. It doesn't always represent literal death, but at the same time, I do have to acknowledge that it does, but not always. Most of the time, it represents an ending of something in your life, oftentimes forced by external circumstances, because it's typically something that you're having a hard time letting go of. But something occurs to where it's like, nah, this has got to come to an end. Um, and then that's that. But I think what is super important here is what comes after the death, because this will inevitably lead to a new phase in your life. Whether or not that phase is positive or negative, I cannot tell you, but there will be certain things that come out of this. Like, this was supposed to happen. No matter how you feel about it, it was necessary for your growth and your transformation. The Death card also represents transformation. So you could have been going through some things that have kind of changed who you are at your core majorly. The old you is gone. The old you is dead and gone. There's something that has happened that has completely killed that aspect. If it's gone, that old you is gone. Yeah, because what has happened has shook you to your core, and it has changed you. Let's see what's going on in your love life. And if it has not already, it is going to. Okay. I don't like to act like I can predict the future. Not at all. If anything, I read the present. Even though I'm saying what's going on over the next week, it's the present energy. That's how I view it. But let's see what's going on in your love life. I was shuffling. I already had a card fall out. The card we have here is the Page of Wands. So there will be some important communication that goes on with you and your partner and or person of interest. And this is definitely going to change your relationship. It's going to bring things to a level where you get closer. It's either gonna bring you together or tear you apart, basically. Again, something has happened. Something major has happened, and it as a result of this, there needs to be a conversation discussing this, because it does affect your love life if it is not within your love life. Because it's like you got to come to an understanding of whether or not the situation is coming to an end, or the entire relationship is coming to an end. I also can't help but think of Phoenix. I think it came up in last week's reading also, when I was talking about Scorpio. If it wasn't last week's reading, it was in the monthly readings that I did, because I remember reading somewhere that, it was last week's. Scorpios have a tendency to self-destruct, but once it gets to that point, like, they will rise up again. They will find their strength from that destruction. I think Scorpio is ruled by, don't quote me, because I'm not like 100 on my astrology, but I want to say Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, which is kind of rules endings. Like, I know a lot of times Scorpio is related to death and major endings. So this is a pretty profound period in your life, and it involves and requires a very open conversation with your partner. So I'm seeing that another theme of the week is opening up. And then transformation will come through this relationship as a result of this communication. Okay. Moving on to my Saggies. What is up with Sagittarius? Yeah, I haven't really read about astrology in a really long time. Sorry, you guys. I'm doing tarot. I'm just doing them for the astrology signs. Alright, but I don't have to know anything about them, the astrology signs, to do the tarot readings. Alright, let's see what's going on with Sagittarius over the next week. What is going on with Sagittarius over the next week? What kind of energy will my Saggies encounter and carry? Sagittarius, you have the Eight of Swords. So you feel like your hands are tied. You feel like there's not really a lot you can do about this situation. It's very important to you. The situation is very important to you. So it's very upsetting to you that you feel so stuck. You feel stuck. And you're not sure how to get around this right now, basically. I would try to look at this period as a period of rest. You can't do anything right now. So take the time to rest so that you are fully ready to do it when you are able to do it, so that you have the energy, the determination, the strength to go after it. So try not to look at it as such a negative thing, even though it's frustrating and feels negative. Try to just take this time to take care of yourself. Yeah. And I think through the process of taking care of yourself, you'll have some epiphanies that are going to help you move forward in your situation. Yeah. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Sagittarius. What's going on in your love life over the next week? I just need one card, please. Nine of Wands. So it's time to let go of the past. That's where you are right now. You're ready You're ready to cut out the dead ends of your past. All the things that have remained long past due, these things that you have been needing to let go and cut out for quite some time, you're starting to do it. You know, if you've been in a long-term relationship and it has been rocky at times, you're letting go of those things. The connection is there and overrides the drama that has occurred. Like, I feel it's one of those situations where struggles have brought you closer together. Um, some of you, there may be some things that you have been trying to achieve in your relationship, and you're just having a lot of difficulty doing so. It may feel like at times you're right there, you're like right on the precipice of things being okay and working out, but then you hit a snag. And so you may be hitting a snag right now. Some of you are coming to the realization that you can't really do anything to change your relationship because that would involve your partner changing, and you can't change your partner. You can't make your partner change. They have to do it on their own. And I think some of them may not be doing it. And that's very frustrating for you because, again, you can't change it. You can't do anything about it. And this has been, it's getting destructive. So you're at a point now where you're starting to realize that you may need to sever ties here and leave the situation, but there may be something that's making that a little bit difficult. Again, hitting that snag, that little point where, you know, you can't really do anything to leave this situation, but it's a good time to plan. So I'll just put that out there. You know, in the downtime, it's a good time to plan and rest as much as possible because you will be able to regain your energy so that you're able to move forward in this whichever way you need to. If you need to, if you're working hard to find the strength to leave this situation, there's nothing that you can do right now and you feel helpless. Well, during this period, you are going to be able to get to a point where you don't feel so helpless. Basically, like, brainstorm what you can do to change this situation and take care of yourself. Put yourself first, your health, your mental health first. Because a relationship should not make you feel shitty all the time. Sometimes we all have issues. Maybe something our partner does triggers stuff that we've had to experience before, and you feel shitty, you know, and they don't know it. But, like, in regards to always making you feel bad about yourself, wearing you down over time, it's not healthy for anybody's well-being. So, and definitely not for you, Sagittarius, because you have to have your freedom. You have to explore, and you have to be yourself. And anybody that tries to change any of that or stifle any of that, it's just going to inevitably lead to major problems. Major problems. Okay. Capricorn. What is going on with Capricorn? Over the next week, what kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? And how will it affect them? Capricorn, you have the Knight of Wands. So you're ready to move. You're ready to shake. You're ready to get stuff done. You're having a lot of energy. Maybe if you've been feeling kind of lazy lately, you're having a sudden burst of energy. You're ready to be constructive, productive, and, you know, just good vibes all around. Maybe feeling very optimistic, very playful. You're just in a very, very good mood. Conversely, like, we have to discuss the possibility of the negative influence. You could be very flighty, having a hard time focusing on things because you have so many different ideas. There's so many different things on your mind. You may be feeling very impulsive, and that could be potentially dangerous if you're being impulsive with like your finances. So kind of be wary of that as well. But I think for the most part that this is going to be a very energetic time for you, where you have the inspiration to get a lot of things done, and not take yourself too seriously in the process. You're just trying to have a good time. You're not trying to argue. You're not trying to argue. Some of you, those of you who do get in arguments, you're not. I don't think you're trying to. I think it just happens. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Capricorn. What is going on with Capricorn in their love life? I feel like the Knight of Wands kind of has a little bit of an ADHD vibe. I'm not saying you have to have ADHD to carry this energy. I just think that's kind of the vibe it has. Very kind of just going in a bunch of different directions, and sometimes very, very hyperactive and, impulsive, and yeah, just that kind of vibe. So in your love life, though, we have the Sun. You and your partner may be going out and having fun, enjoying, like, going to concerts or events, just having a good time. I feel like this Knight of Wands energy is definitely going to influence this. You're going to have an urge to do stuff. You're going to have an urge to explore. And if you're in a relationship, you're going to have the urge to do this with your partner. You just want to have a good time. There is something that is going to come out of this, to where there is a greater understanding between you and the person that you have been dealing with. Something is going to be, I want to say revealed, but I kind of feel like revealed kind of implies a level of secrecy. And I don't know if it's necessarily a secrecy. I think it's more so just not talking about it. It's not necessarily that you want to keep it a secret. You just don't feel like talking about it. But I think you might actually communicate some things that will build that intimacy that I'm speaking of. I'm speaking up in the earlier readings that is necessary for a deep connection in a relationship. So I feel like some of you and your partner may be just having a really good time, enjoying each other's company, and enjoying life in general. If you're single, you're going out to have a good time. You're still going out to shows and different events. You're meeting people. You're just a social butterfly, basically. You're in a very social butterfly mood, very flirty, single and ready to mingle, basically. You are ready to mingle, and you are. Okay. Aquarius. Let's see what's going on with Aquarius over the next week. What kind of energy will Aquarius encounter over the next week? What is going on with Aquarius? Aquarius, you have the Star. So I feel like you're feeling very hopeful, very optimistic about life. If you have been struggling with your emotions, or are struggling with your emotions, or certain difficulties in your life, you're going to be able to find some healing there. You're going to be able to find some resolution to these difficulties, which lead to you feeling more optimistic and very hopeful or more hopeful about your future, feeling more optimistic about what could happen in your future. Um, this may be something that you have struggled with for a long time. So it's a new feeling and it's a great feeling. Because again, perhaps you've been struggling with being pessimistic for a while. So to kind of like go from that to being a little bit optimistic about life, feeling a little bit better about the possibilities and the things that could occur, it's a big change. It's a big change. Obviously it's not all the way to positive, but that's because you're a realist. Not everything's going to work out all the time. Not everything's going to be good all the time, and you know that. But you're no longer in the mind that that's how it always is. Now you're in the mind that, okay, yeah, that's part of life, but it's not all bad, basically. It's not all bad, and you're trying to appreciate the good instead of focusing on the bad, you know? I think for some of you, something may have happened that kind of triggered an awakening within you to where you're just not seeing things the same. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You're seeing things in a new light, and that is what is leading to the optimism and hope that has manifested. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Aquarius. What's going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? It's not a bad thing, but we have the Empress again. I'm shuffling, you guys. I'm shuffling. But I guess there's a lot of new energy. There's a lot of birth energy in this reading. So you may have started a new relationship or see a potential in somebody. And even though you have kind of felt negative about relationships in the past, perhaps like even anti-commitment, this person kind of makes you feel like something real could come out of this. Like that something that you never thought was possible is possible. You've met somebody that makes you feel that way. And they bring out a side of you that you didn't know was there. Brighter side of Aquarius. I'm not trying to make it sound like, you're a very a depressed sign, a super pessimistic sign. I'm not trying to say that. You just you try to be, you do your best to be very realistic about life, and when you are very realistic about life, it's hard to be positive all the time because life is really fucked up. Life isn't positive all the time. There are really fucked up things that happen that you can't always do anything about, but are very real and you can't avoid or change. So it's like you're aware of these things, you acknowledge these things, you don't ignore these things, and it does affect the way you relate to people. It does, because oftentimes you don't think very much of people because people suck. But this this little piece of people, this person, you don't, you really feel strongly about them. You feel very good about them. Again, you feel like you're a different person, and you see hope there. If you are already in a relationship, you guys have been going through a rough period. It's been a rough patch, but I think that you are both working to actively heal the relationship. Um, And it's not just a, okay, we're going to work things out and then things go back to the way they were. No, that's not happening. It's a, okay, we're going to work things out. And what is it? I started to say we're starting now. And that is the case with some people. And then others, it's like, okay, we're moving to a new phase in the relationship. It's transforming in different ways. But I do think a lot of you want to start fresh. I do. Those of you who are single, you may have been very hurt by the things that have happened in the past, people that you thought you were going to be very deeply connected to. Perhaps there were situations where you started to talk to somebody and you felt like there was a very deep connection and you were ghosted. So you actually have a lot of hurt over the things that have happened to you in regards to your love life. But I think what's going on now is that you are working to heal from those things. And it is going to put you in a situation where you feel different about your love life as a result. All right, moving on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces, let's see what's going on with you. What is going on with Pisces over the next week? What kind of energy will Pisces encounter and carry? What is going on with Pisces? Pisces, you have the Page of Wands, so you're feeling very talkative. You may have been more inclined to keep to yourself lately, just kind of dealing with a lot of emotions, but now you're ready to talk. You're ready to go out, you're ready to hang out with friends, communicate with friends. You may be talking to some of your friends about what has happened. If it's been something like an argument or a difficulty, you're probably talking shit, but in a fun way. You're not like doing it in a really angry, negative way. Um, Granted, you may have anger and feel negative about the situation, but you're just kind of joking. Even though you're being petty and whatnot, you're still just joking. You're not taking it too seriously. Um, Even in your conversations with people in general, you're not taking them too seriously. You're just trying to see all the brightness. You're trying to pay more attention to everything that's bright in the world, positive attitudes, being joking, loving, caring about other people. I think you may be kind of doing the jester class clown type thing where you try to make people laugh when you see that they're not feeling so good, or maybe they're feeling negative. It's like it's almost as if you make a point to try to break them from that. You're like, okay, you're negative, you're in a bad mood. Well, you know what? I'm gonna make you smile. I'm gonna make you laugh. And I'm gonna annoy you until you do it. So you're kind of feeling very childlike, you know? So it may be one of those things where it's like Stewie on Family Guy, like, Mom, hey, Mom, Mom, Mommy, 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 Mama, 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 hi. You know, just like a very, very childish and immature vibe, but you're just trying to have fun. Maybe you've been taking life too seriously and you don't want to feel like that. You want to have a good time, make people joke, be silly, be goofy, be stupid. And hey, I'm all about that. I am all about that. It's good energy. I feel like it's good energy. It may really annoy some people though. Like those people that are really in a negative mood or really bad funk, it may really annoy them. But at the same time, I promise you, those people who are super, super annoyed about it, they they will appreciate it. They will appreciate your effort. They will appreciate your care and your concern. and the joy that you are attempting to bring into their life. Even if they don't feel joy, that you are trying to bring it to them, they're going to notice it. They'll appreciate it. Even if they don't express it, even if you don't see it because they're in a mood or whatever, it's there, you know? All right, let's see what's going on in your love life, Pisces. What is going on in Pisces' love life? Let's see. The Nine of Pentacles. So some of you may be single, in which case this Page of Wands energy makes you very, very flirty. Maybe flirting with everybody. Or if you're not intentionally flirting with everybody, your personality and the excitement that you carry and the affection you have for other people who aren't really used to it may perceive it as being flirty. So you may accidentally make people fall in love with you. I know that sounds crazy, but and you may also be completely oblivious to this because you're just being you, caring, considerate, etc. Overall, you're solitary. For some of you, those of you who are single, you're single, and you're okay with that. I think some of you are okay with that. Maybe before, not so much, but you're starting to get to a place where, yeah, you're feeling okay with that. It's not a bad thing. As a matter of fact, you may be feeling like it's actually a better thing for you because you're going to be able to take care of yourself more, focus on yourself more. Perhaps, in relationships, you lose yourself because you're so focused on the other party. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Those of you who are in relationships, you're starting to try to get to a place where you assert your independence within that relationship. Whether it be because you're in a situation that's kind of toxic and the person is super, super controlling, or you're just a codependent person. And even though they're not like super controlling or anything, you find yourself codependent on them and making your life all about them to the point that you don't even know what you like anymore. You don't even know what you care about anymore. Do you care about this only because your partner does? You don't know. So, you may be trying to figure those things out and figure yourself out and what you want from life. If you have your partner, you have your partner. Okay, you have your partner, but what do you want from life? What do you want to experience? What do you want your life to be about? Obviously, you want your partner there with you, but at the same time, what about you? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? Even if they involve working in tandem with your partner, what are you doing for you? So you need to ask yourself, what are you doing for you? You need to do more for you. People who, Pisceans, they have a tendency to put everybody else before them. And it can be a real drain on their emotions. And it's like, they don't even necessarily realize it until they're crashing. Because it's not always reciprocated. Again, you're putting yourself last. So you do that all the time, people just expect it of you. So you may be trying to kind of cut that cord of being so codependent, allowing the other person to be dependent on you. And that is actually a really good thing. It's good. It's healthy to be two individuals in a relationship as opposed to half of one whole. I know a lot of times people say that that's what true love is about. It's two become one, which would be half of a whole. But no, it's two individuals that create a life together, And the best life that they could possibly create together is one that they create where they're both happy and satisfied with their own life. And a lot of times people sacrifice that because they don't want to be alone. And I think that maybe this is something that you have done and that you've kind of come to the realization that you don't want to do that anymore. And You're going to stand up for you, you're going to speak for you, and you're going to do for you. And if your partner really cares about you and wants the best for you, they're going to support it and they're going to love you anyway. If not, well, it's not a healthy relationship anyway. You need to get the fuck out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. My opinion only. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do not act in your life based upon what I'm saying. You make your choice. You make your choice. Yes, I'm reading these tarot cards so you can kind of hear a different perspective, but at the end of the day, it's your choice about what you want to do. Keep that in mind. I should probably say that at the beginning of the reading, so it doesn't seem like it's just a Pisces thing I'm saying it to. It's something I'm saying to everybody. So, those are your readings for the month, you guys. I hope they resonate for accuracy purposes only, because I know some of them aren't that great. And I hope to see you guys again next week. All right, y'all have a good week. Be safe out there.